Welcome to the Dry Bulbous Farm Historical Society virtual presentation of what would have been our festival in the fall, but we are presenting some items of interest that maybe people normally don't get to see, but thought would do well to kind of recreate the idea of keeping the farm open to the public and used by the public for educational purposes. Tonight in this segment we're going to feature some music that was on the farm. We have a number of items that were left here that tell a little bit of a story of music in the old Pennsylvania German farmstead. Now, I'm standing in front of a parlor organ that was here at the farm when we opened this. The little story of this organ, it was the church organ at St. Peter's Becker's Church, United Church of Christ up on the hill, which was the Dry Bulbous family church from this farm. And they came to an agreement with the church that they would buy the church a new organ if they got to keep the old organ that was in the church. And that is this organ. So we're lucky to have it here. We have played it a number of years ago for the family reunion. Unfortunately today when we tried to play it, the bellows aren't pumping air and we can't play it. So we're disappointed with that, but we're hoping we can maybe get that repaired and be able to play it at a later time. We will also be playing tonight a Victrola that was a little later time period, and also a Melodeum. So for now we'll turn from the organ and we'll go to the Victrola and see if we can demonstrate that. So also in the parlor, with the front room and the living room here at the farmstead, is a Victrola. And we had cleaned it up over the years and looked at it, and one time we tried it and lo and behold it played. So it's 78 RPM. It's spring-loaded, so you have to crank it to get the power to turn the turntable. And then you put the needle down on it, and it's interesting sound. We're having a little trouble with regulating the speed, so sometimes it goes real fast, other times it slows down a little bit. But we'll give it a couple attempts and see, give you a chance to see what this Victrola sounds like. The needles are pretty crude. They're actually like a sewing needle, a piece of steel. And well, we'll just give it a shot and see how we do. Okay, we're in the room now with the Melodeum. This is a foot-powered air instrument similar to an organ that interestingly was made in 1845, very old, 1845, but it was designed for pastors to take with them to do house funerals. Back in those days, funerals were done in the home, and the pastor would show up, and often the pastors were musicians themselves. This folds up like a suitcase. They can unpack the Melodeum and have music and hymns during the home funeral service. I'll open the top here. You have to pedal it constantly while you're playing, and it has a pretty neat sound, much like an organ. An interesting story with this Melodeum, though. There was a family here, the boy that we know was born, they were labeled as sickly. His name was Peter, and he and his mother lived here, and his uncle bought him this Melodeum as a toy. Well, the boy died, and the mother moved off the farm, and that was maybe 1850s, somewhere in there, 1860. So not too long ago, I got a phone call and said, "Hey, I have a Melodeum from your farm, do you want it?" Said, sure, we want it. We'll take it back. So we got this melodeon, rebuilt the bellows, and it works. So it's interesting that after 150 years, this melodeon found its way back to its roots and is back in the original place where it came from. So we're lucky to have it back, and we're lucky to have with us today Ann Kinley, who has volunteered to play some hymns on the melodeon and give you an idea what this instrument sounds like.